Hello and welcome to Life in the Driver's Seat Live. Where are all my exhausted, tired ladies at? I'm talking to you today in today's episode. I'm going to be leading you through an exercise to create a tool you can use to create more energy and joy in your life. And I'm going to actually walk you through 3 tips to keep your battery charged and feel good and energized and just get more enjoyment out of your life. My name is 𝗂𝗲𝗏𝗃. I am a certified life coach and founder of a program and a podcast called Life in the Driver's Seat, which is all about empowering you to get into the driver's seat of your life so you can feel better, get more enjoyment out of your life, and intentionally create the results in the life that you really desire. Just create a life that will blow your mind. So let's get into today's topic. So the problem with so many of us, especially women, okay, I can talk to men too, but I just feel like this subject is especially prevalent in women. So we run around and we're just like exhausted, right? We exhaust ourselves just running around trying to get everything done, being everything for everyone, and we don't feel like we have enough time to focus on ourselves or on the things that would really bring us joy and bring us happiness and, energize us. And I'm going to call these things battery chargers for this episode. So when I say battery chargers, I mean the things that really energize you and light you up and keep you feeling good and keep your battery charged, okay? So we either feel like we don't have enough time, right? Because we're running around just getting everything done that needs to be done, which I call like surviving life, if you've heard any of my previous work. Or we simply aren't conscious, right? We're just kind of going through life on autopilot and we're not being intentional with charging our battery, right? It's like before we know it, the day is gone, right? It's bedtime and we've been going and we just haven't been intentional. So I find it's like there's two things going on there. Sometimes it's that we feel like guilty or like we don't have time, or we just simply like, we're not even aware, right? People are just unconsciously living, getting stuck in that rut. So like I always compare your life to a car, but it's like when your car gets stuck in a rut and like every day starts to look the same, right? It's like you get up and you face the day and you go through the day getting all of these things done just to like go to sleep and like wake up and do it all again, right? You go to bed exhausted, no time, and then we get up to do it all over again, right? It's like living your life like your car's stuck in a rut, like surviving life, living your life on autopilot. And when we don't, like the problem with this is when we don't intentionally charge our battery, like take the time to charge our battery and to like energize ourselves, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to get all of those things done that we're wanting to get done. Like we think we need to do them all so we don't have time to charge our battery. But when we're not charging our battery, it makes it a lot harder, if not impossible, to get all of those things done. The other thing is it's like we don't enjoy our life. We're not getting enjoyment out of our life. And what's the point, right? If we're not enjoying our life, like we're trying to get all of these things done, right? To, I guess, create a better life, but we're missing the most important part, which is enjoying our life, enjoying the life that we have right now on an everyday basis. Okay. And then the other thing when we charge our battery is it's like all of our results when we're not charging our battery, right? So we're not only having a very hard time getting all of these things done, we're not enjoying our life and our results suffer. Okay. So when we're not charging our battery, it's like, that's when we're yelling at our kids, right? We're snapping at our kids. We're not patient. And then we're like, oh, why can't I stop yelling at my kids? Why can't I be a more patient mom? Or, we're impatient with our husband. We're, fighting with our spouse. We're nagging them, complaining, noticing all the things they're doing wrong. We aren't intentionally choosing healthy habits, right? Like when our battery is not charged, it's very hard to, change our habits and lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle, right? When our battery is not charged. And it's like, I don't know, making more money, being a better employee. Like all of these things suffer when we don't take the time to charge our battery. Like that's the importance of charging our battery. And I talked about this as kind of like a two-part series, because in the last episode I talked about battery drainers, right? Because the first thing, if you didn't watch that, still watch this one, but go back and watch that one, because that's talking about getting the drainers out of our life, like the things that are draining our battery. And then this episode is all about being intentional with charging your battery. Okay, because like I said, so many women are just running around exhausted, doing all of the things and not charging their battery, thinking that they can't, right? They feel like guilty, like they don't have the time to do that. Or like I said, it's just unconscious living and they don't even think about intentionally taking the time to charge their battery. And the thing I see with a lot of women is like, we think like when we get out of this season, right? Like when we're out of this season, we're going to have more time. Like things are going to be different. Okay. Or we think we have too many obligations right now. And like I said, we feel guilty, like focusing on ourselves. It's like, we just like kind of live on autopilot. Okay. But the truth is, we need to prioritize these things and focus on charging our battery right now. Okay, like we need to do that now, not wait for the time when things are easier and we're going to have more time and when we're out of this season. Like we need to do that right now. And when we do this, when we focus on charging our battery, that's when everything else will fall into place. Okay, because when you're charging your battery, that emanates, right? Like it comes out of you and it affects everything and everyone around you. Okay, it's like we're able to get more done. Right? And the other way of living is like we're trying to get all these things done and we don't have time to charge our battery. But it's like when we do that, when we feel good, we're charging our battery, we're filling our life with things that bring us joy and energy. Like that's when we're going to get more stuff done. Like we will naturally get more stuff done and it'll be a lot easier. Okay. And our relationships will improve. Like our health improves. It's like you want to improve your emotional well-being. You want to stop feeling like stressed and anxious all the time and worried. And, you want to increase, your peace and your joy and your happiness. Focus on charging your battery. You want to feel less, or you want to improve your relationship. Like I said, stop yelling at your kids or nagging your spouse and improve your relationships. It's like work on charging your battery. You want to make more money, start a new business, be a better employee. Be a better, like working, even if it's just at home. Okay. It's like work on charging your battery. Want to improve your health, lose weight, have more energy, work on focus, prioritize charging your battery. That's the importance. Okay. So in today's episode, I'm going to lead you guys through, I'm going to say 3 like steps. And the first thing I'm going to do is teach you how to make a tool called an energizing activity menu that you can use whenever you need it. Okay. To fill yourself with joy, charge your battery. Okay. So let's talk about, the first thing we're going to talk about is actually creating this tool. Okay. And I say tool because I want you to actually like get out a piece of paper and we're going to make this, and it's something you can keep. And I have it on the notes in my phone. So I highly encourage you to just put it on the notes of your phone so that you can reference it, you can look at it, and you can use it. So it's something called an energizing activity menu. Okay. And I want you to just simply take a couple minutes and sit down and ask yourself, like, what are the things that when I do them, I feel really happy. Like they give me a lot of energy, a lot of peace. Like they really charge my battery. Like what are those things that you do, like the activities that you do that really charge your battery? Like they make you feel so happy. They make you feel so good, but you probably don't really prioritize them or like think that you have time for those. Okay. But when you do, you're like, wow, I feel so good. Like we can all probably think of things that we do, like whether that's like going for a walk in nature or playing music. Like maybe you play an instrument, or maybe it's coffee with a friend. Maybe it's like you go out for coffee with a friend, you feel so energized after. Maybe it's taking a bath. Maybe it's just taking some time to yourself and like taking a bath. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's working out, going to yoga. Maybe it's maybe even a phone call with a friend or a date night with your partner. Like what are the things that really bring a lot of joy into your life, and they really just feed your soul and give you energy? I want you to take a minute and actually make this tool and write down all of the things that come to your mind. Like just think, when am I my happiest? When am I my most energized? What are the things that I don't take enough time to do, but I really wish that I could do them more? I really think, they bring me a lot of joy. Okay, that is what I want you to write down on your energizing activity menu. And then when you're done with that, how you can use this, and again, I highly recommend you put this onto a note in your phone somewhere you can reference it. And then I'm going to give you just 3 quick ways you can use this menu. So the first thing you can do with your energizing activity menu is be intentional with fitting one of those things into your schedule every week. So fitting one energizing activity into your week every single week without fail. Okay. And then the second way you can use it is when you're feeling like down, or you're feeling exhausted, or you're feeling just like your battery's drained. I want you to pull something off that. So it's like a menu. You're like, I want to order energy. I want to order joy. I want to order happiness today. Oh, I have a menu for that. Okay. That you've decided, like, all of the things that light you up. So you're going to go to that menu, just go in your phone, and you're going to pull something from there. Okay. So like when you're feeling down, you're going to use something from your energizing menu to charge your battery. Okay. And then the third way you can use it, which I love, is like sometimes we have to do things that stink. Like we have to do things that we just don't want to do, right? Whether, like I always say, it's like, I hate paying the bills, or whatever it is for you, like cleaning the house, like whatever it is. When you have something that you have to do that drains your battery, you can use one of these things from your menu to like counterbalance that. So you're like, okay, I know on Friday I have to, whatever you have to do, pay the bills. We'll use my example. I know on Friday, I have to like pay the bills or whatever. So I'm going to pull something from the menu to do on that day. So I'm like, okay, sure. I'm going to have to like pay this. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I have to pay the bills. Ugh, like that's how I feel when I wake up in the morning and have to do all the company stuff. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's okay, because at 1 o'clock, I'm going to meet my girlfriend for a coffee or whatever. So I have something that's like, it's charging my battery, right? So like when it's getting drained, I am counterbalancing that with, okay, I'm doing an energizing activity. Okay, so those are the ways that you can use your energizing activity menu. It's such a great tool to just have at your fingertips. And it sounds so simple. Like, it's like, oh yeah, like things, and it sounds like such a simple thing. I was just on a podcast, I was a guest on a podcast yesterday, and she was like, you make things so like simple and possible. And I'm like, simple, yes. Like I love simple things because they work, right? They're easy to do, which is also why people look over them, right? They glaze over them because they think it's like too simple. But the simple things work. They're easy to do, and they work if you actually use them. Okay. So actually do these things. They will change your life, change how you feel, change your life. So the second step, like the second tip I want to talk about, is people, like battery chargers being people in your life. Okay. And so if you listened to the last episode, which was battery drainers, we talked about how there's people in your life who drain your battery. Okay. And just like there's people who drain your battery, there are people who charge your battery, who actually give you like energy. So, and you can probably think of those people, like when you leave from hanging out with them, you like feel different. So I get this all the time. Like I get this from people all the time. They're like, when I hang out, I was at like a girls like get together, and someone said, whenever I hang out with Jacqueline, like I leave and I like get so much done. And someone was like, oh, I know. And I was just on a podcast, days ago, and she sent me a message and said, I'm still getting so much done because I felt so energized after our interview, like after we spent the afternoon together. And I'm like, that's so funny. So that's what I'm talking about when I say energy chargers. Like there's people who, when you are with them, you feel drained, right? Like you're like, oh, like you just feel like lower frequency. And then there's people you hang out with that like charge your battery. You'll notice like feeling better. Okay. Like whether that's like more productive or happier, or my friend Cheryl, who's in this group, she's like, I swear when I'm sick, like when I'm actually physically sick, she's like, when I hang out with you, I like get better. Like physically, I start like getting better from being sick. And I'm like, yes, that is, you're actually like feeding off of someone's energy. Okay. So those are your battery chargers. So I want you to think about people in your life who charge your battery, who when you are with them, you hang out with them, you talk to them on the phone, whatever it is, you interact with them in some way and you feel better. They charge your battery. They bring more energy and joy and like vitality and into your life, happiness. Okay. I want you to think of those people, and I want you to just make a list of 5 people. So I have clients like who come to me, and like one of the things I hear, they'll talk about how they like, they think they have to have like, you know, a lot of friends, or, you know, they have to keep up with all these people, or they need more friends. And it's like, you don't have to have very many people in your life if they're the quality, like think of quality over quantity. Okay. Like I purposely keep my friends, like my circle, very small. Intentionally, I do that with a lot of intention, because I'm very aware of the importance of my time and my energy and where I'm investing and who I'm investing with. And I know who the people are in my life that like I love so much. And it's like I said, it's like they're battery chargers, and it's like, it's just very important, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed thinking that you have to fit all of these people in, and it gets overwhelming. Right? I feel like that's another thing that keeps people like very overwhelmed, is like keeping up with all these people and thinking they have to do all of these things. And it's like, just on your list of your battery chargers, think of 5 people. Think of 5 people, and that could be your spouse, right? Like they could be your partner, it could be your husband. And just think of 5 people who like really charge your battery, and then ask yourself, how can I, just like you did in the last episode, you talked about like you decided who the drainers were in your life, and you decided like, do I have to keep them in my life, or how can I limit the time, or what are the boundaries I can set? And in this episode, I want you to think, okay, here are my chargers. Here are the people they bring so much to my life. Like I feel really great when I'm with them. They charge my battery, bring happiness to my life. How can I prioritize time with them? Like, how can I really focus more and be more intentional with these people, with growing these relationships and spending more time with these people? Okay. So that's the second thing I want to talk about. And then we're going to move on to the third, and arguably the most important. Okay. We're going to talk about, using your thoughts and your mind, like using your thoughts to charge your battery. Okay, there is nothing that charges your battery or drains it, and I didn't talk about this in the battery drainers, than your own thoughts. And the great news here is that those are optional. Like those are a choice, but most people are walking through life unconscious of the thoughts that they're thinking that are absolutely draining them, absolutely affecting the way they feel on an everyday basis and the actions that they take and the results that they're able to create in their life. 100% your thought, nothing changes more, will change more than addressing your own thoughts. Thoughts will absolutely drain you. Like when we're walking around, like most women are walking around thinking, there's not enough time. I have to do all of these things. When will this season of my life be over? It's like we're thinking all of these thoughts that are or thinking bad thoughts about ourselves, right? Why can't I lose weight? Why can so-and-so lose weight? I'm not meant to lose weight. I'm meant to be heavy. I wish I had so-and-so's husband or partner or, their home or their money or their job. And we're thinking all of these thoughts that absolutely drain us of our energy and our joy. Okay. It's like, and the good news is, like I said, that's a choice that is an optional. Those thoughts are optional. So how can we use our thoughts to charge our battery? And again, this takes being intentional. Most people are just in the passenger seat of their life. They're just cruising through life in the passenger seat, unconscious living, like reacting to life as it happens to them, not aware of the thoughts going on in their head. And the work that I do with my clients is about teaching them to be intentional with the thoughts that they're thinking, which leads to the feelings, right? How they're feeling. If you're feeling like shit and you're feeling tired and overwhelmed and, sad and anxious, guess what? Guess where all of those feelings are coming from? They're coming from your thoughts, the thoughts that you're thinking. Whether you want to believe that or not, it's up to you. That is the truth. That is where all of those feelings are coming. You probably think it's from, what your husband's doing to you, or, the situation you're in right now. And, all of these things are, the circumstances that you have. Those are not what's causing you to feel all of those things. It's just not. It is the thoughts that you're thinking about that. And that is the deep work. And that is the work that I do with my clients. It changes everything. Changes everything about how you feel and how you're able to show up for your life, and the actions that you're able to take and the results that you're able to create in every area of your life. So using your thoughts to charge your battery is, like I said, arguably the most important thing I'm talking about right now, because most people think it's actions, right? They think they have to do this and get through this and get this list done. And when they're out of this season, do this to feel better. And it's like, no, it all comes from your thought. It all comes from the way that you're thinking about it. Even when people are like, even time and stuff, it's like time's just in your head too. If you think you don't have enough time, you're going to feel overwhelmed. And guess what? You're not going to have enough time. Like, charging your battery starts with the way you're thinking, the thoughts that you're thinking every day. There was a great book too called, it was called The Power of Positive Thinking. And I think that's what it's called, The Power of Positive Thinking. Anyway, he's a awesome Christian author, and was taking verses out of the Bible, right? And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? And I remember taking that one out, and I would say that all the time. This is so funny, you guys. So if you know me at all, I'm not a morning person. This is making me laugh. So when I would I was like, I'm going to start getting up early in the morning. And I would be like, when I would open my eyes, I'd be like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me to get out of bed. I know that's such a big thing to get through, but it's funny, just saying things to ourselves, right? Changing our thought. It's like, I can do all things, right? I can do anything. Bring it at me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do it all. There's so many different things you can say to yourself, right? So many different thoughts. It's like today, opening up your eyes, today is going to be a great day, right? 2023 is going to be my best year. So many things you can say to yourself, right? I'm blessed in so many ways. I'm so grateful for this. All of these thoughts that you can think that will charge your battery versus what your brain's just offering you. Today sucks. It's cloudy outside. My husband didn't pick up his towel. There's all, right? Or we can be intentional. So for your thoughts, I want you to make a list, just like we did 5 people. I want you to think of 5 thoughts that will really help you feel better. What are 5 thoughts and this is not just positive thinking, but 5 true thoughts, okay? 5 things that you want to direct your brain to charge your battery, okay? And then again, put these in your phone as well. Make a list. I have a note on my phone that just says thoughts, and it has all of the thoughts actually in different categories, all of the things that I want to direct my brain to. But just start simple. Think of 5 thoughts that you want to say to yourself or redirect your brain to. In my program, we go deep into that work, and I teach my clients different tools that they can use to really start practicing their new thoughts and making these their new beliefs, right? It's not just something they have to change and think of, but actually just how they show up and what they believe, right? It changes. A belief is just a thought you think over and over again. So the more you practice a thought, the more it just becomes a belief, becomes your identity, who you are, how you show up to your life. But it takes that initial work, right? Simple, but so profound. It will absolutely change your life. Okay, so those were 3. And then I have a quick little bonus here for the people who are I like to put this, I was just thinking of this thing because it's charging your battery without any extra time. So this is just a bonus that will take no extra time for you. But I always think one of a big battery charger in my life is simply putting on an audio book or a podcast while I'm driving. And here's why. We all have this extra time while we're driving, right? We have to go pick up the kids, or we have to take them to sports, or we have to go do all these things, and we're just driving. And it's just extra time. So usually what do? We put on some music or whatever. But when that's just extra time sitting there that you can use to absolutely charge your battery and feel better, So what I highly recommend, especially if you're someone who's like, I don't have time, if I don't have a lot of time in my life, is use that extra time and just try it. You might be like, I don't want to listen to that while I want to listen to music. Just try it. I always say to my clients, like, just try it and see how you feel. You might get addicted to it or like love how it makes you feel. But get Audible, download Audible, put on some like great books, some great self-help books like Success Principles by Jack Canfield, Compound Effect. There's so many great books out there. Or podcasts, absolutely amazing. I have a podcast. It's called Life in the Driver's Seat. You can listen to anyone's podcast though, but try just popping a podcast on while you drive and just take that extra free time to charge your battery and see how you feel. Like, it makes such a huge difference in my life, especially when you're like listening to someone. It's like, if they're feeding you energy, right? They're filling you with good. They're giving you energy in just your free time, in just your driving time. So that's another, just a little tip, like a bonus I wanted to give you for charging your battery. Or you can even like listen to things while you're doing your chores, like folding the laundry. Like, I'll always put something on, like a podcast or something while I fold laundry. Just all of these things we're just doing unconsciously and getting through when we could be like taking that time that's already being spent, right? It's just free time. It doesn't take any extra time, and just use that to really charge your battery. And again, when you charge your battery, it's going to change how you feel. And when you change how you feel, you change the actions that you take or that you're able to take, right? Like, when you charge your battery and you feel good and you feel happy and you feel energized, then you can take the actions, right? You can start transforming your health and working out and cooking better and getting a better job or starting a business or finding a new relationship or improving your relationship, right? Or yelling at your kids and all the things I talked about before. Like, when you first feel good, you charge your battery, your feelings will always drive your actions. But most people are over here trying to do the actions and exhausting themselves, right? We're just running around exhausted all the time. It's like, charge your battery, feel good, especially changing like the way you're thinking, right? Because that is going to affect how you feel, and how you feel affects the actions that you take, and the actions that you take create the results and the life that you create. That is why it is so important to be intentional. So if you are serious about, like, if you're listening to this, you're like, I'm done feeling exhausted. Like, I'm done feeling like I'm just getting through the day. I'm done surviving life. That is what I call it. I'm going to give you 2 ways to go further, right? To take the next small step. So the first thing is, I have a free training. If you go to jacquelineemery.com/free training, it's like an awesome training that will walk you. It's called Create a Life You Love in 4 Simple Steps. So go check that out. It goes deeper into really just intentionally creating and feeling the way you want to feel and creating the results in the life that you want. And then the next thing I want to invite you to do, if you're just like you're ready for change. Maybe you've been like binge listening to my podcasts or like my shows and my videos, and you're just ready for change. I want to invite you to book a free call. If you want to get a taste of what coaching is about, I offer a free hour-long session. So bring it all to me. Tell me, I want to hear like what you're currently experiencing in your life. Like, what are you currently experiencing and what do you want to be experiencing instead? Say, this is where I'm at. This is what I feel like. This is what I'm going through. And this is what I want. And then we'll talk about how to bridge that gap. And I'll give you action steps you can take right away. So if you've never experienced coaching, this is your chance to do it free and get a taste of it, completely risk-free. And it could be the thing that changes your life. I will say this, like, there is a huge difference in how you show up in, when you commit to making a change and you commit to going all in and like with a coach and with a program and like changing your life, than it is to watch free shows and, free podcasts and free trainings and free challenges and group programs. Like, it's like a big difference. So if you want a taste of that, of what coaching, one-on-one coaching is all about, you can book a free hour-long session, and that's at jacquelineemery.com/consult. So again, just go to or you can just go to my website, jacquelineamarie.com, and it's like under work with me, but jacquelineamarie.com/consult. And that's it for today, my lovelies. I will see you guys next week. Next week, we are going to be talking about boundaries, which is something probably lots of women struggle with. So we're going to talk about just setting boundaries, and it's going to be a really great episode. So I will see you next Tuesday, 12 o'clock right here. Okay. I love you guys, and have a great rest of the week. Bye.